Hello. Can I help you? Do you not intend to pass through? I am almost certainly naive to believe that this attention you pay me sees not through me, but wishes to see me through and through. I'm no accident. This is not the back door. That's an old husband's tale. Husbands can tell tales too, you know. This building's not back to front, and the man that drew me did not dive to his death from one of the towers in some kind of bitter regret. It's not a bad story, I'll concede. But it's a yarn that arrived out of this city's need for a monument to regret. Anyone can come through me, and I mean anyone. During the war, brothers bore brothers in their arms through me so tenderly. We found a way together. And I was given thanks. As they licked their wounds, brothers stood by, guarding me as I guarded over them. That was long ago now. They seem to only look up when the sky is falling in, rain or war. But I am not only a protector. The Waynes, they still know that I am the opening note, the starting gun. Each step up to me says, here you go, here you go, here you go, until the landing says, ready? But folk are not ready. They're not listening. Maybe it's because their wallets itch in their pockets, or they're already thinking about where they'll go next. There's a vacancy in their gaze. They flow through me like fish in a fish farm, dropping litter, talking to people on other continents, missing the beginnings of being here.
Wow, this painting is quite impressive.
Indeed, the level of detail and the decisive colors are excellent.
Here they are. Others have arrived like every day, attracted by my image, but as always they don't answer me. But you hear me alright, don't you, Mr. Crawford?
Of course, Mr. McClellan, loud and clear, as always. Now, Mr. McClellan, if you could turn your head a wee bit more towards me so I can continue your painting. Just a tad to the left, if you will. Yes, that's it. Perfect.
What an austere figure. He has an expression as if he has made a conquest. Who knows if that conquest is detailed precisely in that letter he holds in his hands?
You're right! It does have the appearance of a letter. But what secrets could it hold? Look at that satisfied expression of his, as if to say, here, I found it, now I have it.
There they go again, the letter. If only I could remember what it contained, and why it seems to fill me with a sense of pride. But why can I never remember? If only I could provide them with an answer. Oh, what am I saying? They won't even listen to me, as it always happens. I wonder why.
Ah, Mr. McClellan, stop questioning yourself like that. You are a man of great influence. You might have forgotten with time, especially with everything you have to think about.
Yes, you might be right, Mr. Crawford. But still, now I can't help but wonder about my past. It seems like a dream, not quite anything I have experienced myself. Was it not art that both is and has been the greatest passion of my life? After all, why did I end up in this museum? Who commissioned you to do my portrait? Was it me? Why so much importance to this letter that I have in my hands? Mr. Crawford, did we end up here because of this portrait you are doing of me? Mr. Crawford. Why is Mr. Crawford not answering me? It seems like he has disappeared. But now I have questions. Who am I? Is Mr. Crawford just figment of my imagination, my hidden consciousness? Is that possible? If not, then who am I? Am I even real? That would perhaps explain why I don't remember the contents of this letter. Perhaps all the voices inside this museum have convinced me to think that I am Archibald McClellan, convinced me to adopt all their stories about him. How long have I been here anyway? Are my memories true, or are they the impersonation of another life? It must be. The voices have replaced me with someone else, through the sheer force of their talk. Can I ever be free from their talk? Can I know something that they do not? I do not know if I will ever learn how to have a secret. But if someday I do chance upon a secret of my own, I know where I shall hide it. In this letter will I inscribe it, forever sealed from prying eyes.
These lines you see now, they are akin to the creases on your forehead, the wrinkles you dismiss with shame. They are memories, proof of existence. Not a fleeting memory like the wind. My lines are here forever, even after you cut me down. Look at me now and inspect my every line. You think yourself different to the thousands of others who have done the same. Gazing at my severed form, did a shiver pass through you? Do you wonder what it is to become an amputation, gutted and torn from the roots? If my lines were wrinkles, would you feel sorry? Or would you say I had long enough? Your conscience seems to have slipped away as easily as my needles to the forest floor. I don't have a beating heart like yours. That must be why it was okay to kill me. Your killer will come gently, invisibly. You will go peacefully to a death that is quiet and inward and timely. You will be mourned, and even then, kept alive by the memories of others. How lucky you are! I was not granted such a death, nor the bliss of being remembered as I was. Tall and beautiful, a heavenly sight. With a thud, I hit the ground. The sound of cheering, as they had achieved what they set out to do that morning, filled the atmosphere. Did they see the beauty they wiped off the earth the day I died? Now I'm in pieces, exposed and admired for how old I got. Though I could have grown older. I wonder, am I missed by the earth, the way you shall be when you slip away gently?
Seeing my eyes, I know the beauty of decay. Life is decorated after becoming decayed. Can you see my inside, or just the pretty boy who is ageless? They speak passionately of me because I am static and an object. Look at that lovely face. What if I were a human? What if I were to decay with you? Would you love me then? But I can't be. I am in this museum where everything exists for showing. I live out this stage indefinitely, staying young. This life, I had no choice in it. And in that respect, I suppose we are the same. I had no choice in being a living head of marble flesh, which makes me look innocent, though I am not. I want to come out of your desire and become natural. I want to be useless and be decayed. I was born just to satisfy James' purpose, who had called me son. James passed away, a life shorter than mine. I don't want to say he is my creator. And I don't want to be possessed by his fame. I want to escape from him. 'Cause I'm real. I'm nothing without James, so they say. But I wanna be independent and fly away. And then there is the child. I am his second hand. This nameless boy, who left behind the origin of this head, was forgotten in history. No one cares about the boy but for their curiosity about me. A child is buried somewhere in the silence, like my maker. I'm worthless beyond this museum. If you found me at the cafe, or in the alley, would you recognize me? Without the museum, without James, and the child, I'm nothing special. I cannot be decayed, like them. Do you think this life is still meaningful? With nothing to lose.
Well, isn't this a fine mess? Stuck in a museum like vegetables in a salad prison.
You mean to say we have to stick around these dusty old things? It's not a good look, Cabbage. You know my best angle is from the salad bowl.
Oh, come on, you two. It's an honour. We represent the creme de la creme of the brassica world. The spotlight is on us. Besides, broccoli, you know you'll never end up in a salad bowl. You're full of plastic.
Don't judge me, cauliflower. I do what I have to do to stay young.
Shh, they're watching us. Look at their big fleshy blobs stumbling around. Just how these awkward mammals are supposed to have any common ancestry with us is beyond me.
Yes, they seem to find us fascinating. Well, me anyway. Just look at how that little human is pointing out of excitement.
Aha! They may point and prod, but they'll never truly comprehend the complexities of our existence. We're more than mere objects for their amusement.
Wait, is it pointing because we rock the old school look? Or because we're more like the veggies with a designer label?
Yeah, what's our deal anyway?
I'm starting to feel a sprout-sized identity crisis coming on.
Spare me the veggie drama. We're just plastic moulded by human hands. We have an evolution conundrum every fortnight.
Well, a birdie told me those Dutch masters' paintings across the hall had been painted of us.
Since when were we colourful fruits? Evolution didn't get us that much. But you know, sometimes I wonder, are we really living up to our true potential as vegetables?
It's like we're stuck in this glass case, unable to grow or change.
Yes, but don't worry, we will never be targeted behind our safety glass. I like to believe we were the chosen ones, the ones that never got away.
I do enjoy sitting and looking pretty.
Brussels, where have you been?
I've been here the whole time. Nobody will ever notice.
Yesterday, John polished up my last piece of copper gear, oiled my chains, and I started to rotate. No, it wasn't exactly yesterday, was it? Yesteryear? Yes, the century? Just imagine all my hundreds of wheels and thousands of teeth biting and grinding each other in magical circular motions. What a dazzling experience! Visuals become horizontal bands of color. At that moment, John said to me, "Now you are perfect, like the very universe we live in, an intricate clockwork machine. Don't you see? We have mastered the rhythms and the movements of our world. And now you are simulating those celestial dances. You are the oracle of our age. You will guide humanity to a brighter future." And I lit up with excitement as I started to spin. And as those admiring faces and clapping hands of John's friends appeared before me. And then came the day when I saw John for the last time. He just, well, quite simply, disappeared and never came back. I couldn't understand why. Why would he leave me? Why didn't he want to stay in his perfect universe forever? But as John's younger brother kept introducing me to more and more people, and touring me all over the land, I worked hard to conjure before them the harmonic dance of time and space. I worked hard to lay before them a picture of what the future would hold. And with that, the reassurance that each of us, like the gears in my body, had a part to play in the clockwork of reality. Wasn't this what John had always wanted? Wasn't this the very reason for my very existence? Spinning, spinning, all spinning. Spinning on a wide, wide cosmos. And never another shoemaker took pity on my soul in agony. Just as I began to think I could take no more, my visitors' number began to wane. I worried about their declining interest. Were they losing faith? But I was so tired that when no one was looking, I allowed myself to rest. And then I stopped spinning altogether. Over the ensuing decades, Twice I heard those roars thundering across the sky, those shock waves rumbling below my feet. As the two great walls reached on, Zhang had made me to keep peace. He made me to keep order. But I had stopped spinning. When Zhang was still around, we saw countless butterflies fluttering in the sky, and myriad birds chirping symphonies beyond imagination. But for all of humanity's advancements, we only have our great silence now. For I had stopped spinning. And then came those dark wizards, those Maxwells, Heisenbergs, and Lorenzes, bringing all chaos, uncertainty, and unforeseeable consequences at the bat of a butterfly wing. For I had stopped spinning, and as a result, I had invited all manner of evil into a once perfect world. I was a lazy orrery. I didn't keep my maker's promise. Now I see why this glass canopy covers me, and why I am so often subjected to all that cleaning and maintenance. It is all an attempt to slow down the process of my own chaotification. Just fancy that I, the perfect model of order, must be protected from the ruthless forces of entropy. And it was I that welcomed those forces in to destroy the precious clockwork of our world. No longer a simulator, I am now a messenger of chaos. Just like all those faces staring at me now, we are all decaying into randomness, into an ever less complex unknown. I am so sorry, John, my classical dreamer. I am so sorry, humanity, victims of chaos. I have failed you all. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
If we were to strip humanity down to one object, what would it be? What would represent your legacy on Earth so succinctly that only one thing could express all that you had built, achieved, fought for? It's an impossible task. I am a haggis. That doesn't carry the weight that it did in times gone by. The shudder in the air when our ragged breath floated in the fog as we ran from the hunters, fleeing our nests. Sport. They call it sport, to hunt us and dress us up for Sunday dinner. Our kind are few and far between, but I am the image left behind. I'm not a real haggis, more like a collection of parts, feathers from here, snout from there, hair plucked and preened to imitate and soften the ferocious reality. I have their memories of being free in the hills, bonny and wild, clip-clopping through the thick. But my exterior is dry with wax, to preserve me, to preserve your idea of us. The idea of us was better left in the imagination. It was how we'd existed long before anyone had figured out how to catch us. We had status then, respect. Don't look at me if you can spare me that sympathy. When we are forgotten, we will return. Quieter, faster, smarter and tougher. We won't be made a mockery of again. I'm an example of what happens when humans know too much. They've softened me down to be palatable, a draw for tourists everywhere. We'll go back to the hills and will only exist in the shadows of imagination and the terror of your nightmares.
Oh. May I help you? When asked a question, it is only polite to answer. Your empty gaze isn't doing anything, dear. It won't do either of us any good, I can assure you. Stop looking at me with those glassy eyes. Too dazzled to speak, are we? If you insist on rudely watching me, at least have the decency to look me in the eye. Center now. Come on. Come on. Oh, for goodness sake, just place your feet in the square of light in front of me. There now. Was that so difficult? Now, what do you want? To fix your hair? See if you have food stuck in your teeth? Powder up? Admire me? Ugh, you're an awfully quiet one. Your glazed gaze is starting to bother me, dear. You are incredibly oblivious. Do you know that? I bet you don't understand where I'm coming from, do you? Pardon me? What are you doing? Now's not the time for you to take a photograph. Haven't you any manners? Using that damned rectangle thing. You're not even trying to pay attention. Have you been ignoring me this entire time? Do you know who I am? Oh, there you go again. Blankly leering past me with no sense of consequence to your own consciousness. You aren't aware of it yourself just yet, are you? Are you blind to yourself? Well, of course you'd be. With a gaze like that and being so easily distracted, it's no wonder you seem full of clouds. Oh? Oh dear. Your eyes are getting glossy. What happened? Are you lost? Perhaps you're starting to notice it too. Dear, it'll be all right. I know many things are happening in your life, but you can't just run away like that with distractions in each hand. Look deeply into me. Not just spacing out at me like you did in the beginning, but truly, look at me. Come back to reality. Dreams won't do you much good. I promise it's not as bad as it seems. There now. Not so bad now, is it? Now go along, my dear. You shouldn't look at me for too long. You'll start to lose yourself again. Oh, but do clean up a bit before you leave. You have something in your teeth.
Don't give up now, little monkey. Not after all this time. You've still a little more to go. If your head is heavy, rest it on my back. If your arms are weary, lean on my side and catch your breath. Now, pull on my back, push off my tail, and Lift, little monkey, lift. Draw the sky nearer. Ah, you were close that time. That was a very good try. A very good try indeed. That's one to remember. Never you mind about all that. You mustn't be so hard on yourself. It was never going to happen overnight. We both know that. But you've come so far already. Poor little monkey brother. You have given everything you have to come this far. It seems impossible that you should have anything left to give. And soon we must try again. But not just yet. Lean on my side. Rest your head on me. Catch your breath. It's time I told you about Craftsman's plea. You were too young in those days, but I remember Craftsman's every word, because it was my ears that he carved first. Did he begin with my ears out of convenience? Or because he wanted to be heard? It is hard to say, for although his words did indeed address me, he pronounced them under his breath, as if to himself. And this is what Craftsman told me. He said, "Take good care, little horse, of your young monkey brother, for I have entrusted him with a great undertaking." And then he cut a space between my hooves, giving you a stable foundation for your climb. He said, "Watch that he doesn't slip, little horse, for on your young brother's shoulders rests an old craftsman's hopes." And he curved my neck around to give me a clear view of you at all times. He said, "Keep high your spirits, little horse, for your young monkey brother is strong, that the times will test him." And he deepened the grooves beneath your arms. He said, "Protect him, little horse, for in him I see myself, and in him have I left my greatest treasures, treasures more valuable than any crystal quartz, tourmaline, or jade stone." And he formed the sweeping valleys of your nose. He said, "Look, my good little horse, at the ambition of your young monkey brother. He inspires it in me, and he shaped the dexterous ridges of your fingers." He said, "I carve my commissions in the finest jade, investing them with the wishes of my patrons, but it is in the poorest dents of this study made of impure jade that my own love can live." And he polished the broad span of your shoulder blades, patting your back. He said, "Take it from me, little horse, to finish a project is a sad triumph. Like many a good jade given the final polish, its reward is a hole in the heart." And he left us roughly formed, so that we could forego the trip to the marketplace and stay with him in his workshop to the end of his days. And as craftsmen came and went, as religions formed and spread, as dynasties rose and fell, you, little monkey, you alone continued to rise, making your way steadily up my back, remaking the possibility of ascent for us all. Now, pull on my back, push off my tail, and lift, little monkey, lift. Draw the sky nearer.